Yeah, the concept of ethics. Then we discussed ethos. Then we discussed about Indian ethos. And now we are discussing about, if you remember, the 6 basic principles which are there in according to the Indian ethos. Fine, which will guide us, or this is an inspiration for all of us by applying those 6 principles, since basic principles of which are mentioned in Indian ethos, we can run our business. So that is the point of discussion. Like, can we apply all these things, or can we apply all these basic 6 principles into business scenario? So first principle we already discussed, that it's each soul is a potential god. Now, just to start with, or just to refresh your memory or our memory, we just try to understand that what is mean by this particular principle, or what is the meaning of this particular principle. So the meaning of this particular principle is the human being as a soul, a spark of divine. So according to this particular principle, fine, of Indian ethos, we all believe like there is something very divine inside our heart. And that is not only for Nandini, or not only for Karan, or not only for Sahib, or not only for Nandu Kumar or something. So it is for everybody. It is for everybody, that divine power, or that divine thing, or divine something, a small divine अंश जिसको हम बोलते हैं, that is there in our heart. And this divine means the perfection of knowledge, wisdom and power. हम लोग बोलते हैं कि हमारे दिल में भगवान बसता है. What is mean by that? It is something, a little particle you can say, or a small ansh we can say, that is there in our heart. And it means the perfection in knowledge, wisdom and power. And therefore we always believe like we have, or every human being have immense potential or power or energy for self-development. This is the first principle, a basic principle we can say. There are many, like, okay, it's like our dharma granthas or our holy books, they are there to guide us. But this is a very basic principle. Like, we all believe that all human beings, they have great potential to develop themselves. That energy, that divine energy is with us. And that divine energy किसको बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे? Perfection in knowledge. We have knowledge. We can earn knowledge. We can get that knowledge. And everybody, each and every human being has or got this right to get knowledge, information, and of course knowledge. They are wise enough to get that knowledge, or they are wise enough to use that knowledge for the self-uddhar, for the self-development, and of course the power or energy. So that we are already discussed. This is the first principle. And then we always believe like, okay, or this is an extension of what we have discussed yesterday, that is it is expected, according to Indian ethos, it is expected that we as an individual, or we as a human being, we should go for establishing a partnership of God and man. So involve, see, according to Indian ethos, we are earning, and we are doing we are earning our livelihood, and then for you yourself, for your family, for the society. But at the same time, if you are doing a partnership with God in that whatever you are doing, so whatever karma you are doing for your earning, for your survival, for your existence as an individual, and of course to support your family, fine. So according to this principle, we always believe like, okay, we can create and develop a good partnership with the God. It means whatever we are learning from our holy books, or from adhyatma, what we call in English, that is spirituality and other things. So involve a godly principle in your behavior. You should behave like that. So consider people, and then what is the outcome of that? So because you are going, or you are working on the principles of God, which are mentioned in your holy book, or in your scriptures, or whatever we are learning from, or we can say that our life is based on spirituality or adhyatma. So we consider it. So it will reflect in our behavior. And because it will reflect in our behavior, fine, we are capable of doing anything and everything. We are capable of achieving anything and everything that is extraordinary and miraculous. So this kind of results, we can start up a small business, and we can develop our value system so that we can achieve or we can reach to any extreme. So that is why people, they are considering God as a partner. So consider them it as a God as a partner in your business and involve. So what will happen, that your each and every transaction, each and every behavioral aspect is so pure, and it is for the goodness of for human, or you are contributing something to the development of humanity. And you are thinking about your self development. Not only that, but you will bring harmony and happiness to yourself and prosperity to your organization. If you're working in that organization, no problem. If you're an employee of that organization, what I mean, like, yes, definitely you can contribute, because you yourself, you are thinking like, okay, you are your God or godly divine power is with you, and then you are working. So this is what the first principle of you know uh, which gives us direction. So we will not think any bad or any ill about our society, but we are always very thoughtful, and we are trying to contribute something for the society. I'm talking about business. So you can think about all these things in business perspective. Whenever you are designing your product, when you are thinking about services, when you are contributing something to the society, when you want to sell something to the society, first thing which will come to your mind is like whether I'm working in a right direction, whether I'm delivering the best to my customers, whether I'm selling those products to my customer at affordable value or a price, affordable price, and whether I'm delivering value to my customers. So that subconscious mind, what is God and what is divine power? According to me, in modern era, your subconscious is that divine power. So your subconscious mind will remind you like, okay, you are doing right or wrong, whether you are behaving ethical or unethical. Now we all know that something is happened outside or happening in outside. For last 1.5 years we are sitting at home, and then there are a lot of things we experience. So there is a question mark in, or comes in my mind, or must be coming to your mind also, whether what is happening in the society, where is that ethical behavior, and why people are behaving like that? Because we are deviating from Indian ethos. We forgot this very basic principle which is there in our Indian ethos, that yes, we need to consider God as a partner, or that divine power is with you. As I said, like the divine power means what? Your subconscious. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, अंदर की आवाज. So we need to listen to that particular voice. That voice is that divine power, and which will guide you, like whether you are ethical or not ethical. It will develop your value system and belief system, and because of that you will able to run your business very, very ethically. Like if you see the last line of this, that without injustice to others, without doing any injustice to the society and to the others. But yes, you will earn, you will sustain, you will grow. So according to this, why this subject is there in your syllabus, and why we are discussing this, like whether we are asking this question to ourselves, like, can we apply these principles in the business? Because we all feel and we all strongly believe that business is business. हम लोग हमेशा ये बोलते हैं, we are doing business, we are not doing any charity. And my first business or my first objective is like, we want to earn profit. But how much? How much profit you want to earn? What is the ratio? What about your expectations, individual expectations, as well as an organization? or as a business. So that we need to understand. And then if our subconscious or our conscious mind is, alive, it is, ready, it is very consciously, it will guide us like, yes, please wait, you are not doing something good or great. Wait, take a pause, think, and then move. And that's why this subject is there, because you are, you are tomorrow's managers, you are tomorrow's business leaders, you are professionals, and we are all, we are going to enter into business world. Forget about others. We always feel, XYZ wo kar raha hai, ye kar raha hai, and that person is so successful. I'm not here to give you gyan, but yes, we are here to discuss and decide whether these principles, 6 principles, can we apply those principles, and can we get even, we will be successful in the market. Because see, because of the scenario, because of the environment, there is a doubt in everybody's mind. Even when I'm learning, and whenever I'm reading or something, and I'm preparing my lectures, I have something in my mind, a doubt, a small kind of a doubt, कि मैं जो बोल रही हूँ बच्चों को, is it true? Is it workable? So end of the day, we need to answer this question, or we need to find out this answer to this question. And that's why this particular subject is there. Like out of 23 students or out of 22 students, if one student who believes like, yes, all these principles can be applied in this particular business scenario, so we are done. Or somewhere, if we feel like, okay, no, we need to understand, or we need to think in that direction, my job done. I have done great job in this direction. So the next point, that is our next principle, what we are thinking about, that is holistic approach. Now, what is holistic approach? That is oneness, no dual or Advaita concept. There are two things, or there are two Sanskrit words are there, that is Dvaita and Advaita. Now, what is Advaita? Like united, oneness. We here in modern management, we are thinking about team building. We are thinking about like, okay, cooperation, coordination, and direction, and working for everybody and taking responsibility, sharing goals, and sharing objectives, shared goals, shared objectives, what we believe on. And then all the organization, irrespective of their size, irrespective of their sector, these people, they believe like, if you want to be successful organization, then we need to create such kind of working culture, what we call in modern management. So we are thinking on these lines, work culture. No, so what kind of work culture we are expecting? Of course, we are expecting that Advaita concept. We want to introduce that Advaita concept in our organization. So let us first think about like, what is there in our mythology, or what is there in our according to Indian ethos, in our spirituality, what is the meaning of holistic approach or Advaita, and then we will try to understand that how that particular concept can be applicable in modern management. So first of all, we need to understand what is the meaning of Advaita concept. So under this principle of unity, fine, because as an Indian, or our culture believes in unity. This is the principle. This is the basic guiding principle of Indian culture. We believe that universe is undivided and whole, where each and every person or every particle, no, I'm not talking here about only individuals. I'm not thinking about or talking about only, but it is connected with every other particle. So we all are connected. We all are connected. All human beings, and some connection is there, and that's why we are meeting. That is what Advaita concept. That's the entire humanity, or humanity is one. Irrespective of your caste, religion, whatever, sex, gender, religion, geographical area, anything and everything. You can just, you can connect with people. And you are connected with people according to this particular concept of Indian culture or Indian ethos. So we are connected, and what is written there, that such as integrated human personality of self-developed managers and workers can assure, अगर हम लोग इस प्रिंसिपल के साथ बिजनेस में चलते हैं, या अगर इफ वी अप्लाई this kind of approach or attitude, if we introduce in organization, fine, तो क्या होगा? We are self-developed individuals, we are self-developed managers, and of course workers, irrespective of the level or the position. We are working, and then we assure certain things. What is the outcome of this attitude or this kind of attitude? That best and competent management of any enterprise involving collective work and efforts. And that's why we talked about, team building, team spirit, work, participation, or workers participation management. We can think about, shared goals, shared objectives, and other things. This is what a modern management is. But somewhere, if you as an individual, as a Nandini ma'am, or as an individual, if I believe on this principle, so my attitude, my approach towards my work, my attitude and my approach towards my colleagues and the team members and the organization as a whole will change. और इसीलिए वो बोल रहे हैं कि please work with this particular principle. This is a guiding principle for all of us. Collective work and efforts. So we need to work in one direction, and our goals and objectives must be same, and we are working and we are standing for each other. We are working as a team. This is what is expected, right? Because in whichever department you are working, in whichever position you are working, if you are able to understand this particular principle, and not only understanding, but if you are ready to apply this particular principle or follow this particular principle, then your organization can do wonders. And you yourself, what you will get, it will achieve perfection and excellence in whether or whatever sector you work. And what will the outcome of, if you are very perfect in your work, and everybody, those who belong to that particular organization, if they believe on perfection and excellence, so what is the outcome? Just think about it, like how it will affect on organization performance. And that's why we see, if you see in your OB or organization behavior, what I mean to say, and or the principles of management, in that we said one basic principle of management is you need to accept the person as a whole. That is a holistic approach. Nobody is perfect and nobody is 100% perfect. We need to understand that. But we need to build your team or build our team in a way that everybody and each and everybody is can contribute or can work and contribute for the betterment of your organization. This is what, how we can accept this particular principle or apply this particular principle in our daily life or in the modern management. So this is the second, very basic principle, which I believe, like, okay, this is we need to discuss here in this particular topic. Moving ahead, very important, one thing, that is Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitacha. See, we are working. Everybody is working for themselves. Everybody is working for their own uddhar, what we call, and everybody wants to achieve their objectives, their self-objective. Because whenever we are working in an organization, fine, and we join that organization for our own benefits, or we are not there, of course, it is expected that you need to work and you need to contribute for that organization. But I have my own aspirations. I have my own dreams. I want to achieve something in my life. And that's why I join any organization. Nothing wrong in that. According to Indian ethos or according to Indian culture, yes, you have full right to earn for yourself. And then you can think about your own moksha. So that is a concept which is there, which is mentioned in our mythology, in our scriptures. Like we are we are working for that moksha. Moksha is a state, a state of mind or state of that individual where like no birth concept. So because in India, in according to Indian ethos, like we believe like we will reborn, you know. So आत्मानो मोक्षार्थम, so that is the basic concept. अगर आपको कोई पूछता है कि तेरा जन्म किसके लिए हुआ है, so WhatsApp देखने के लिए नहीं, definitely not, and not on like you will be active on FB. That is not an objective of your life, or to earning money, or to establish business, or to do something. But according to Indian culture, why we born? Because we want to achieve that moksha wala sthiti, आत्मानो मोक्षार्थ. हमें मोक्ष चाहिए, इसलिए हमने जन्म लिया है, and we need to work in that direction. This is what very limited understanding of this particular these words. But according to Indian culture, it says like, okay, you should not limit your karma, you should not limit yourself to just to get moksha for yourself. But what is the next objective, or what should be the next objective of your janma or your birth? That is jagat hitaya cha. It means what? Not only you, आपको आपका सिर्फ और इंडिविजुअल उद्धार नहीं करना है. We need to think about whole world. Jagat hitaya cha. And what is mean by that? If I want to explain it in English, for gaining perfection in individual life as well as for the welfare of the world. We are not thinking about myself. I should not think about myself only, but I should think about others first. Or as word, jagat, jag, what we call in Marathi, dunya, what we call in Hindi. So world. So this is the, don't you think that this particular aspect is so broad, and we are thinking about, on a broader perspective, like, or it is very essential for us according to Indian culture, that it is so essential for us, like you should not limit your thought process. You should not be so selfish, like, okay, you are thinking about yourself, you are thinking, but it is but obvious, like people, they are expecting you to think about whole world. This is the message for all managers and workers given by Indian ethos for management. So don't think like, okay, now we can connect it to the modern management. So like entrepreneurs or a top management or CEOs, they are investing their money and they are expecting what? A good return on their investment. They want a good profit because they want to earn profit. Of course, they have full right to earn profit. But at the same time, what is according to this particular principle of Indian ethos, they should not think about their own profit, only about their own profit. Nothing wrong in that if they are thinking about their profit, because they are investing their time, energy, and money. So it is allowed, like, okay, it is allowed to them, like, okay, you are Malik, you are entrepreneur, you have created this particular organization, so you have full right, you can earn. But please, please, please think about others also. Think about your employees, think about your workers, think about all the stakeholders, those who are associated with your organization. Not only that, but you need to contribute something to the society. Because you feel like, okay, it is expected that you should contribute something to this particular whole world, not only society, like, okay, or to a specific region or to your geography. So whenever you are dealing with people, when you are dealing with stakeholders, you should keep these things in your mind, like, yes, I need to contribute something. This is your moral responsibility. And that's why we call it, like, okay, it should use your behavior, your guiding principles, the way you are doing your business should be, you should work in a very, very ethical way, in connection. It's not like that. It's not easy. This is again very, very basic guiding principle. If we accept it, like, okay, we will accept people as a whole, with their plus minuses, and then we can build a team, and then we can work in in one direction, and then we can cooperate with people, and then we can understand people, and then we can share whatever we earn with all the stakeholders. Fine. And not only that, but we are thinking about, yes, whole world. This is second principle for all the management, or all the managers or future managers or budding managers or those who are working in corporate right now. Think about it. We, as I said, like all business houses or all organizations, they feel like, yes, we are working and we are doing business. तो business में तो इतना चलता ही है. So this particular principle is asking you कि कितना चलता है और क्यों चलता है. Or why should people, they accept that kind of attitude? Because yes, you, as I said, like atmano mokshartham, yes, you can earn, you can do your you can earn or you can achieve your goals and objectives, you can think about your own aspirations, nothing wrong in that, but not at the cost of others. This is the second principle of Indian ethos. Then the third very important thing is like third principle, that is equal importance to the subjectivity and objectivity. Now, what is subjective and what is objective? We need to, according to Indian ethos for management, we need to distinguish between subject and object. Now, what is subject? Subject is stable and intangible, and object is concrete and tangible or visible. Now, what is mean by that? Just think about it. Like in an organization, or whenever we are running any business, or whenever we are doing any management of any kind of organization, or to run a business, in simple word, we want something. Now, what is that something is? Like we all know about men, money, machine, and material. So we need to organize those resources, right? Can we say that that is enough? Okay, the next point of our discussion should be like, yes, we need to organize resources. That is what we said, like over 4M. These are our resources to run any business or to start any kind of business or organization. That is what objects. We need to organize, we need to arrange these resources. And then what we will do, that okay, we will organize these resources, and then we will produce something, we'll design something, produce something, sell something, and then we will earn profit. This is what all organizations are doing. Because as I said, like their aim or their objective is to run the business, first thing, and to earn profit. This is, if you see the corporate scenario, or if we see all the businessmen, they are doing the same thing. They are organizing, they are arranging what objects, and for that all type of management, and you and me, we learn that yes, we need to plan, we need to direct, we need to control, we need to organize, planning, organizing, directing, controlling, staffing, and other things. So these are the basic function of organizing or arrangements of, we are doing arrangements of all the resources, objects. Jama kar rahe hain log. We are establishing a beautiful building, we install machinery, and then we produce something. We design our products or service if we are in service business, and then we are trying to sell. But according to this concept, according to this principle, this is not enough. This is not enough for any organization. And of course, for the individuals. Because in our personal life also, we are collecting and we are organizing a lot of resources, so that we can live like king size, that kind of concept. And we all believe on that. And for that, we are working very hard, because we are thinking about objects. We are thinking about our materialistic life. Like we want to have pleasure in our life. And because for that, we are organizing, we are working very hard, and then we build house and other things. Similarly, it is applicable to the organization. But according to Indian ethos, like you need to give equal importance to subjectivity and objectivity. Now, by this time, your objectivity concept is clear. That is all resources. Now, what is subjectivity? Because it is written there that before we discussed about subjectivity, we believe on the concept of third eye, the eye of wisdom. If you see the Shankar Bhagwan, so you know that there is a third eye. And we all believe, sometimes we also say like, okay, mera third eye. So what is a third eye for individual? That is wisdom, your own wisdom, which help you to see kya, even that which the normal two eyes cannot see. It can be intangible or invisible. So we need to go beyond this. We need to go beyond our materialistic life, or we need to go beyond our, objective things or the resources which are necessary to run or to establish that organization or to run that business. Then what is equally important? That is subjective. The things which are intangible, they are also very important for your organization. What are they? Like your ethics, organizational ethics, your qualities, or as an individual, your qualities like courage, vision, social awareness, fearlessness, integrity, pure and clear mind, truth, and etc. All these are subjective, subtle, and intangible concepts. When it comes to you as an individual, I can see like, okay, one person there, okay, your physic and your physical appearance of Gauri, Rashmi, Pooja, Suraj, Darshan, and Rucha, and Onkar, and Yogesh. So when we meet, like, yes, we can shake hand and say, yes, I'm Dr. Nandini. And then you can introduce yourself. So I can see your physic. And then I can see that, okay, wow, nice personality with a huge car, a big car. Great, nice. So I always feel like, okay, he must be very good, huh? Or materialistic thing, or he is, achieved something in his life, very successful person. So that is how we evaluate. But then that is not enough. So when we are close, and then maybe if we are spending some time together, and then we are interacting, chit-chatting, and we always feel, oh, wow, that is a real me, will introduce you to you. And then you feel, oh, this is what Nandini ma'am is. This is what Karan is. This is what Rashmi is. And this is what a Gauri, a real Gauri is. Because these are the qualities. And as I said, like, I'm using my wisdom, I'm using my experience to know and understand you as an individual. So what is the outcome of our discussion? Like, according to this particular principle, you are not judged, or you are not evaluated on the basis of your tangible things or your objects which are with you, your property, your car, your house, your business, or okay, fine, that is there. But what is equally important? These things are equally important. But again, one more thing is equally important. That is the subjective value of you. Subjective value of you, your how ethical you are, and what about your value system and the qualities which you have. Like, as I said, like, okay, these are the qualities. These are very subjective, subtle, and intangible concepts which cannot be seen easily. But yes, after some time I can feel, oh wow, that person is so nice, that person is so ethical, that person is so, that person's value system or belief system is so strong. So according to this principle of Indian ethos, we need to understand as an individual that only subjective or subtle qualities are as important as money, material, money, machine, information, or data, as well as human skills. So whenever we are dealing with people in an organization, irrespective of the level or irrespective of the position of that person, we should give some importance to this or equal importance to these qualities. सिर्फ उसका पैसा देख के, उसका position देख के, we will not give or we will not admire that person, because we have that third eye and we need to use the wisdom. to know and understand that people's capability. Moving ahead, that is what we have discussed here, that is ethical values of that individual, that is subjective thing, that is courage, fairness, vision, social awareness, integrity, and pure mind. And at the same time, no doubt, like, okay, objective values or objective thing, that is money, material, machine, information, and data. When it comes to organizations, when it comes to, of course, it is related to the individuals also and to the organization. So this is the principle, or this is a third principle of Indian ethos. So inner resources, that's what I said, inner resources of human being are more powerful than external resources. This is what real you are, your value system, your ethics, and this kind of qualities, they are more important and they are more powerful. So according to this particular principle of Indian ethos, it is a guiding principle which guides us, which gives us direction, like this is more powerful, or these qualities of you as an individual makes you more powerful. And if it is applicable to one individual, it is applicable to the organizations or business houses. They might have good building and very good garden and everything, and modern machinery and technology and all the resources, everything is there. But what, according to this principle, what makes that organization or business a great organization or a great business? The inner resources, inner values, the value system or the ethics which are followed by that particular organization. So if you want to run your business, or if you want to thinking about organization or joining any organization, so you need to understand, you need to evaluate that organization on the basis, not only on the basis of these resources or materialistic thing, but you need to think about whether that business or that organization is ethical, question mark. What is their value system? And very important thing, that value system, that their ethics and value system should be matching to your ethics and value system. Then only you can sustain, then only you can enjoy working there, then only you can contribute something for the organization. Otherwise, no, you will not enjoy working there. So I always believe, like, you and that organization should be like, Rab ne bana di jodi, so that you can work and you can contribute, you can, because your thought process is on a similar line. Your ethics or your own value system is matching to your or that organization's value system. So you can do wonders, and then you can make a great team. Now moving to the next principle, that is karma yoga. Now what is karma and what is yoga? We all know that just now we have celebrated in the same month or last month yoga day. So now everybody is talking about yoga. So what is yoga? Yoga means, union. Now, what is union? It is a proper balance between mind, body, and soul. That is yoga. It is not, okay, physical exercise means yoga. No, here, karma yoga means, there are different kinds of yoga. So first we need to understand what is yoga. That just now we discussed that yoga is union, and where we are trying to balance our mind, body, and soul. So according to Indian ethos, it is essential for individuals to have or to achieve a proper balance between your mind, your body, and your soul. So if you think about modern management, we are thinking about what? Work-life balance. So where we are talking about emotional intelligence, or we are thinking about intelligence, IQ and EQ. Intelligent quotient and emotional quotient. And then we are thinking about, as I said, like, okay, we need to control our mind, body, and not only that, according to Indian ethos, we are trying to balance between mind, body, and soul, because soul is a divine power, just now we discussed. And as I said, like, there are different kinds of yoga, that is Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Moksha Yoga or Karma Yoga. Now, what is karma? We all know that what is karma? Karma means the activities or the deeds or the actions which are taken by you as an individual. So it is written there that Karma Yoga is all about identifying your own priorities and trying to achieve them. That is your karma. We need to identify. Like, okay, as I said, like, okay, whenever you are working in any organization, or you as an individual, you have your own aspirations and dream, and then you need to set your priorities ki sabse pehle kya, sabse zaruri kya, and try to achieve it. But not only that, what Karma Yoga said, like person should have accountability. Accountability towards what? He should always hold only himself responsible for whatever goes right or wrong. This brings about the union of human being with the divine. Take onus of your activities or take onus of your action. And we are doing exactly the opposite thing to this, opposite to this. Like whenever we are fail or there is any failure, we always blame others. Isne kiya. It is all because of you. It is all because of Pooja. It is all because of Suraj. It is all because of Rucha. It is all because of Yogesh and Umesh and Nandakumar and Pratiksha and Akshita. And when it comes to something good happens, then you said, oh, it is me, Nandini ma'am. It is because of me. This is human psychology, right? And we are working in that direction. And we always feel like that. And we always behave like that. Most of us, all of us rather, we behave like that. But according to this principle, it says, hold yourself, or hold responsible. Who is responsible for your karma? Who is responsible for your actions and deeds? Yourself. Aap responsible ho, and you are responsible for the results. Now, moving ahead to the next slide. See, this is what we need to achieve. That is Nishkam Karma. Karm kar aur phal ki chinta mat kar. It is there in Gita. Because certain things, like certain actions are expected, certain karma is expected. When you are sitting in one position in the organization, certain actions, right? Certain deeds, certain karma you need to do, because these are what we call in a modern management, that is responsibilities are given to you. These are your karma. It is expected that you need to perform those responsibilities, or you need to work in that direction. But whenever, see, as in an organization setup or in a professional setup, we always believe, kya believe karte hum log? Like, okay, I'll work or you will work and give credit to me. But according to this particular principle, which is there in Indian ethos, we need to behave, or we need to work or we need to follow this particular concept, that is Nishkam Karma. It is, we need to divide responsibility. At the same time, we need to divide authority. We need to divide or we need to give credit to the people. So shared goals, jisko maine abhi bola tha, and shared responsibilities, shared authorities, and of course, the result should be given, or we need to, give credit to the team. This is what modern management we all believe in. This is what which is expected from us. That foot of work should not be thought of while performing the duty. That is what karma and Nishkam Karma. That what will happen, okay, fine, the results will come, but this is what is expected from me. I should not think about like whether I'm working, I'm achieving something, I'm working very hard for the organization, whether I'll get what, a promotion or some kind of incentives. Because then, of course, this is in motivation and other theories, we believe like, okay, these things are important, which motivate us, and then which inspire us, another thing. But this is what very broad concept, or very what we call very typical kind of a concept we believe on, that okay, inspiration, motivation, and other things. But according to Indian ethos, don't think about that. What should be your motivation? That okay, this is you, like there is no need for external motivation. It is your inner voice, it is your own value system, it is your own ethics, and these are your own responsibilities, and I'm working on that. That's all. What I'll achieve, what I'll get, what I will not get, no. See, Gita says that do your duty without ego and without calculation of gain or loss. That is what Nishkam Karma. So do your karma and then result will come. You will get it. You will achieve it. Kab, wait and think good about others and your apna time aayega, that kind of concept. Moving ahead, that why we are working or why do I work? So this should be very clear to me as an individual, like why I'm working. Of course, for my own salvation and personal growth. That is the main, that is there. That is it. I should think about me. As I said, like nothing wrong in that. That because every person is working, every person is joining or join that organization for their personal growth. I want to grow. I want to do materialistic growth. I'm talking about my mental. I'm talking about my, I want to grow as or I want to develop as a knowledgeable person. I want to convert it. I want to upgrade it. So I'm working because with work, I will get experience, and with that experience, I'll upgrade. And my EQ and IQ will automatically increase. And then I said, oh, I'm growing. Because see, each of you and me, including everybody, like we are thinking about our own growth, or we want to join that organization, or any business or any assignment will be taken by us, where I can see my own growth, personal growth, not only financial, but yes, I'm getting that experience. That is my self growth. I'm getting experience. I'm getting, of course, money also. So I'm working for that. But not only that, according to this principle and according to Indian ethos, we should work for the good for the world, Jagat Hitaya. And of course, we need to think about organizational benefit. जिसका नमक खाया है उसके साथ नमक हलाल बनो, that kind of concept. In our layman language, हम लोग ये बोलते हैं. So inner joy of doing something gives a doer a sense of achievement and also helps him to respecting himself more than he used to. Because हम लोग अगर अच्छा behave करते, if we are our behavior is ethical, fine, and we are working in that direction, or if we are spiritually connected, and then we are working, and then we are thinking about for the betterment of this world or betterment of the society, and then of course organization. So it will give us, this is a sense of achievement that yes, maine kiya, this is what I achieved, this is what my contribution for the world, and of course for the benefit. So these principles will give us a broad sense of achievement, not limited sense of achievement. हाँ ठीक है, मुझे सैलरी मिली, मेरे फाइनेंशियल ग्रोथ हुई, मुझे मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, सो फाइन, डन, आई नीड टू वर्क फॉर दैट ओनली, for my own or for my selfish motto. No, according to Indian ethos, or according to these guiding principle, it is like, okay, we need to think, we need to go beyond that. हम लोग उसके आगे सोचना चाहिए. We need to think for the betterment of this world. And of course organization, because we are associated with that organization, and this sense or this particular attitude or this particular thought process of you as an individual will give you the sense of achievement. That is what this particular principle is all about. And very important thing, when work is performed with passion, very beautiful word this is, I love this word, that is, you need to work with passion. You need to work with passion, and then you will enjoy that working. And hatred and arrogance and desire, we have individual developments and social good. And Indians always had two great truth of successful, harmonious and happy life. Like yesterday only I read somewhere, like, okay, we need to work for happiness, not only to get those cheap pleasures. So this is our principle, or this is what Indian ethos believes in. Like, okay, we need to work. That is a small discussion on karma yoga. Like, we need to work for, of course, individual growth and welfare, but we need to think about collective growth and welfare. We need to minimum pay for of passion, jealousy and hatred. ये कम करना चाहिए, क्या बढ़ाना चाहिए? That is team spirit and teamwork. self-purification and self-development, autonomous management, minimum control and supervision, because we that should be the approach of management, or you as an individual, because we need to believe on people and we need to believe on the capabilities of people. This is what modern management or extra modern management, or that type of phase most of the organizations they have reached. Give autonomy to the people and less supervision. This is again this particular principle is there in according to Henry Fayol, because if you are supervising, if your supervision is very, very close, then people, they will not perform, people, they will not grow, people, they will not enjoy, because you should believe on your people, you should believe on your employees. And manager acts as a mentor. That is what karma yoga is all about in modern management. This is what karma yoga, because we believe on our karma, we are giving importance to the work which is assigned to you. Then the next principle, that is cooperation. Now, what is cooperation? We all know. So then you might be thinking about, like, you are not asking questions, but yes, you might be thinking about competition. Ma'am, what's our competition in today's world? And some people, or we as individuals, we feel, because we always believe, like, okay, apna motivation theory bolta hai ki competition or the work or the achievement is our motivator, or we believe on external motivation. But according to Indian ethos, what we believe, or what is there in Indian culture, that we believe, like, okay, healthy competition hona chahiye, but that competition should be healthy, and this is very, very powerful motivator. And what we will achieve when healthy competition is there, we will achieve excellence and success, especially business success. Because there are, in a society, you are not alone. You in that industry, your organization is not alone. Your competition or competitors will be there, and you need to compete with them, you need to work, and then you must be successful. So when you will achieve that excellence and success, when you consider everybody and all the competition, or all the people, or all the competitors as a healthy competitors or healthy competition. Now, what is healthy competition? We all know. What is healthy competition? कि मतलब मेरा भला होना ही चाहिए और होगा ही, लेकिन साथ में तेरा भी भला होना चाहिए. Or I'm not harmful to anybody. I should not be harmful. My organization should not, that cutthroat competition wala situation. I should not enter into that rat race kind of thing. So that this is what expected according to Indian ethos. And the concept of struggle for existence. And now these things are there. These things are happening in the world, or business world. There is struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. Lado, maro, maro, jo bhi hai karo, but I want success. I want to achieve maximum market share. That's all. I should rule the market. I'm me first. That kind of concept. But these concepts are not acceptable as per Indian ethos. We said, like, let us cooperate with each other. Ek dusre ke sang chalo. Hum saath hai wala concept. So this is what our Indian ethos is looking for. So as it is written there in this particular sentence is again very beautiful, that human beings, that Indian ethos says that for human beings, the royal road is cooperation as a powerful motive of teamwork. And we all know that successful organizations are successful because they believe on this particular principle. Hum saath hai. Sabka saath, sabka vikas, that kind of situation. Like we are considering each and every person, and then we are working in one direction. We are human beings having mind and power of discrimination. So this is what, don't you think that this is really a very powerful and a beautiful concept? Because it is like most of the slides are based on Gita, because this is what I know I don't know, but I'm sure that in other granthas or other holy books, the similar kind of things are there. So what Gita says that by cooperation and mutual help, all shall achieve the highest human welfare. Unity is strength. Unity is strength. And our national leader, they are also believe on that. Even international leaders, they are working in this direction, that we need to work in a mutual help and cooperation. So this is what Indian ethos means. Like, okay, even in the holistic concept, or a holistic approach, we stress on cooperation, integrity, synthesis, and team spirit for extraordinary performance. Believe on me that if you want to work, or if you want to establish in the market as an organization, as a business, like if you want to perform, or if you want to achieve that excellence or excellent result, so you need to follow this particular concept. And why we are doing that? Because enduring harmony and peace. Because our heart chamber is living with pure conscious of the divine, that is Purnatma. So that is there, that divine force is there, and we are looking for that harmony and peace and other things. So peaceful coexistence, what I mean. So this is what Indian ethos means, or this particular principle is guiding us on this, in this regard. Coexistence. जियो और जीने दो, हाँ? आप भी जियो और मुझे भी जीने दो. Coexistence, harmony, peace, excellence, extraordinary performance, no struggle in the rule, and Indian Insight endorses this in the management of any enterprise. So you can prosper, as I said, like, okay, nothing wrong in that. Like, yes, we all have those rights, or that that liberty is given to us. Like, we need to work in that direction, and we are working in that direction, and then you can earn. You can put your efforts, and then you can earn. I'm talking about you as an individual, and I'm talking about you, about any organization. Nothing wrong in that. But then you need to think about others. You need to cooperate with others. You need to think about mutual help. These are guiding principles. Come on, you might be thinking, ma'am, kitna idealistic bol rahe hain. No, this is what our Indian culture is all about. And unfortunately, we follow something else, and then we forgot about this. And I'm very thankful to the person who introduced this subject at this level, that is MBA level. Because कभी तो बचपन में स्कूल में पढ़ा था, उसके बाद तो I don't know, we are not discussing about this. So excess competition at work can destroy many young people and social life, our social life. There are many incidences that are happening around us. I'll take only 2 minutes. I know that, okay, I'm running out. Only 1 minute. I'll take only 1 minute, because 8 o'clock you have another lecture schedule. But yes, we have started 7:05, and I'll exactly finish at 7:05. Just to, I just want to discuss something on this particular point, that excess competition, what is happening in our life as an individual, that is because we always feel ki matlab XYZ mere friend ne gaadi liya, mujhe lena hai, and there is a competition, and we want to leave, and we follow, our role models change, and then our priorities change, and because of that, what is there, what is the quality of life? We feel like, okay, oh, koi to aaya hai, with that person must be having something in his mind, and we don't want to help, we don't want to cooperate. We are not thinking about united efforts. We are not thinking about success. We are not thinking about prosperity of others. We are not thinking about success leads to the round prosperity and success in the fields of human enterprise. So here we are thinking about materialistic thing. Here we are thinking about materialistic achievement. But what about you as an individual, whether you are happy or you are not happy? And what is happening to the business houses, because they want to, they are running for number one. Everybody wants to become number one, want to achieve that. So, but these are the 6 principles what we have discussed, and according to them, we need to think, or we need to work in a different directions on these 6 principles are eye openers for all of us. We need to think something else, we need to think something different, or we need to follow this culture. This is our culture, this is what is expected from me, you, and everybody. And not only me, you, and everybody, but all the business houses simultaneously. We need to think in this direction, so that we need to work on that, and then only we will achieve the real success. With this positive, very, very positive sentence, I want to sign off for the day, and then we will discuss, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time, fine, and then discuss about the need for Indian ethos for business. मैम आपने तो बहुत कुछ बोल दिया, लेकिन इसकी जरूरत क्या है, क्या इसकी सही में जरूरत है? और इसीलिए मैंने बोला कि yes, my job is to ignite your thought process, कि सच में इसकी जरूरत है क्या. So that we will discuss in a tomorrow's lecture. Anything from your side, any question, anything? So otherwise I can leave.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi ma'am, Karan this side.
Yeah, Karan.
Nothing exactly related to the topic, but just I wanted to ask one question. Is it okay?
Yeah, no, definitely. You are welcome,
Yeah.
but if time permits, otherwise I'll take your question and answer tomorrow. You can just carry, go ahead and ask question, no problem.
Yeah, just I wanted to ask that yesterday's and today's session was wonderful. As I think it is more likely related to Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that, have you been through fully Bhagavad Gita? Means have you read the full Gita, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, Karan.
Yeah, actually the thing was, I tried to read it around 2 to 3 times. The only thing was I was unable to understand.
Okay,
So
fine.
sometimes is it possible, means if the college also permits, can we have a short lecture type of a seminar or general taking up an idea that what is exactly Gita about and how it can help us in our
Yes.
daily routine or life?
Okay, fine. Good question and good suggestion, Karan. I'll discuss with your ma'am. And
Yeah.
like about my college, like you might be knowing, like I'm working with Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management,
Yeah.
Today's Management. Fine. So we have tie-up with Swami Vivekanand Trust. So if ma'am said, and if it is okay with everybody, then I can connect your institute and ma'am to that person, or to that particular, the people, those who are working on that, and they are experts in that direction. So
Yeah.
we can call them, and then definitely we can organize. But I'll discuss with your ma'am. Fine.
Yeah, because I think if we try to read it individually, I think
yeah,
I
it is
personally
very
found it a bit
difficult.
hard to understand.
करण, मैं आपको एक बात बता दूं, like ऐसे बोला जाता है कि if you understand at least one word of Bhagavad Gita, that is enough for your life. That is, that is a beauty of this Granth. It's really very difficult to understand. And forget about understand, but understanding. But if we want to apply that knowledge in our day-to-day life, so एक मतलब मराठी मध्ये असं म्हणतात की if you can apply one word of Bhagavad Gita in your life, or a principle of one principle in your life, तो आपका कल्याण हो जाएगा, that kind of knowledge it is there. So definitely I'll discuss with ma'am, and if anything is there, we can work out, like, okay, at the end of the lectures or the sessions, then definitely I'll call some expert from outside, and probably Ashutosh sir, after completion of my first topic, he will join you, and you can ask the similar kind of question, because he wrote a book on yes, उन्होंने एक book लिखा है on this particular subject. So he's a right person. And apart from that, yes, we can organize a guest lecture for you.
Yeah, that would be much more wonderful, man.
Yeah, definitely, Karan. Because like what we are doing here, like I'm trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita, or the principle of Bhagavad Gita, and I try to connect it with our modern management or modern business scenario, because that is more relevant. Because if otherwise if only discussed about Gita and other things, and it will be like Adhyatma or a spiritual lecture. So that is not a motto, right? We all are management students, so I need to connect with modern management. So that is what we are doing.
Yeah, because just I have tried to listen over YouTube videos also, but I am totally unable to understand anything from it.
No problem. We'll try to make you understand. Okay.
Yeah, that would be fine, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
And who is the next class is there?
Yeah, ma'am, this is me, Nihal here.
Yeah, Nihal.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Actually, I have read the Bhagavad Gita,
Okay.
and like I'm a volunteer at a ISKCON temple also.